Good morning, everybody. What an interesting morning it is. What an interesting times we're in. I tell you what, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Happy to be here with you for real. I feel like in this moment in time, what a joy to connect with all of you. Looking forward to this session, looking forward to what we do and doing it well, going over here and conquering the markets. Before we get started today, I just want to say a few things. First of all, it's so funny. I mean, I woke up and after 10 minutes of trying to see who won the election, I had no idea. That's weird. Number two, I still have no idea who's winning or who's going to win. And if like, maybe someone else does more than me. I don't. I don't know what's going on. I wish there was a winner. You know, family stuff aside, this morning, I'm like, man, I just wish there were fair and just elections. And I was being fought on the fact that they are fair. I don't know. They should be transparent. It's 2020. We have blockchain technology. Why we don't have fair, instant, and transparent voting is beyond me. That's all whatever. It's over, Anthony. Is it true? If look, I don't know what's going on with the elections, and if we do have a winner, but guys, let me know. I don't know. Will it? Are we going to the Supreme Court? I have no idea. Anyway, I have no idea. The one thing I want to ask everyone today, listen up, please. I ask you all, no nonsense. No derogatory remarks about someone else. No no rednecks, no libertards, none of that nonsense. You guys could all talk about who's winning. Trump, Biden, not America. Whatever the case is, that's all good and fine. We need to talk like adults, but not like no name calling. All right. So let's take a look at what's going on in the. So I'm under the impression, and I could be quite wrong. Keep the love. Life is good. I'm under the impression that right now we don't know who won for certainty. Right now, everyone, and I'm also under the impression that supporters from both sides think their candidate won. So if there's anything I'm saying wrong, because I don't know what's going on today. If that's wrong, let me know. But I'm under the impression that no one knows for certain who won, which means that the market doesn't know who's winning. I believe right now that the market is pricing in, because of Biden taking the lead in Michigan, betting markets are pricing in, betting markets. I don't know what the financial markets are doing, are pricing in a Biden win right now. That could change so quickly. If for example, this does get to go to the Supreme Court, and I have no which way the Supreme Court will rule. Everyone remember, pre-election, there were a few different cases where the Supreme Court ruled against the Trump campaign as far as ballots that would be counted. It could go either way. I have no idea what's going on. So, see, I mean, Sam, I don't know. This is just Jordan. I'm not saying that I know best. I'm saying I don't know what the markets are doing. Are they pricing in a Trump win? Are they typing in a Biden win? I don't know. Nor do I know but I do know we could see massive volatility still. We're going to just take a look at some charts today. I'm not trading anything, but I am going to continue, and I'm going to get warmed up now because now's the time. I'm going to get warmed up here. I'm going to go over all the charts here. I'm going to see, I'm going to get into that flow, into that rhythm. All right. Now, the other thing that I just wanted to say, it looks like we do have a red Senate, though, right? Can we all agree on that? Is that a fact? Thank you, Alan. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That was, again, I'm on the side of fairness. I'm on the side of just. All right, Gemma, thank you. I'm under the impression that we don't have a clear winner yet. The market's pricing in red Senate. Okay, is that still up for debate? I'm not sure. So that's kind of weird, right? In that fact that could be the most stifling thing for growth. That's true. But the market is up, right? The gold is unchanged, but off its lows. These are the things that I'm kind of just trying to look. Everyone, I don't have any idea what's going on. I only want clarity. I could trade around clarity. Since I don't have clarity, I need to figure it out until we get some clarity. All right. Is it 100% sure? I'm not sure. Let's look at some charts and let's just keep going over there. Yeah, this is where I'm at. Speculation is detrimental to successful trade. I'm not looking to speculate, which is why I'm comfortable. Yeah, We're going to look at everything. Forget politics and trade charts. Man. All right. So I just want to, so funny story and great story. I was up at 4:30 in the morning yesterday morning, 5 o'clock today. So last night by like 9:30, I'd fallen asleep. And I'm so glad I slept through all that nothingness. All right, let's go over here. The S&P 500. Let's take a look at what we have going on this morning. And what I see, what Jordan sees. If you see something different as I go over these charts, do let me know. But I'm doing my own analysis here. I want to see what I could factor in over here. So like, remember last that we left this off, we were consolidating in this little area. Well, it looks like that we're still consolidating in that area. Now, right now, we're into resistance, by the way. Do you see that resistance right here? That horizontal resistance at 34.18, which is interesting because while you're in no man's land, there is enough of a range to trade this both ways. That's a big range we're in. We're not towards the peak of this where it gets really tight. There's enough within this range right now. It's kind of like you got the thumbs up, the clear skies here to be able to trade either which way, knowing that if we break up, at that point it's a bullish technical break, or if we break down, it is a bearish technical break. However, right now into this resistance, let's go to the 8-hour. Let's go to the 8-hour. And the reason I want to go to the, look at, this is what I'm worried about though, by the way. Look at that volatility. That's massive volatility. I don't think that's over for today. Right now we're talking about like the big news in my opinion this morning was that Michigan flipped over towards Biden. Betting markets pricing that in, right? That could happen again in Michigan or another state, or it could go one way or the other. I don't expect massive volatility. Now, yes, it's true. Volatility could work for or against. Can we get some thumbs up, by the way? Anyone happy to be here this morning? Come on. So what I was getting at, or what I was saying over here, if you were to, for example, don't take an entry that's this far away, right? When you have that, don't take an entry with that much of a turnaround. The risk to reward is all screwed up. The risk to reward is all screwed up over there. Nevertheless, I'm going to come back. I'm not going to trade it on the 8-hour right now. All right. Maybe I will, but not here yet. I'm just trying to get a little more clarity. All right. So anyway, S&P 500, we are in this zone over here. We're in the middle, but we're into resistance. Trading on both sides right now is completely appropriate. Nasdaq, let's take a look. Nasdaq also, look, it's the same thing, however different in that, look at this resistance we're coming into right now, right? It's very clear. I'm looking on the daily here. If you were looking for an entry, you would drop down time frames. I'm not looking for an entry just yet. I'm kind of setting myself up so that when it's time for an entry, I'm going to be ready. But I am waiting for, right now I don't have clarity in, like, yes, it's clear to me that it seems to me that Biden here is in the lead in this moment. That could change throughout today very easily. And if it does, I want to see what the markets were pricing in. From what I gather, as Trump was winning, it looked like the markets were selling off, right? I was looking, so if that flipped in this moment, I think that the markets would see some pressure. I don't understand, and Jordan does not understand, why the markets would be favorable to a Biden win, in so much as that initially the stimulus would benefit the markets, but the tax cuts absolutely are a huge net negative. So I don't understand it, but I don't have to understand it. I just have to find out what's going on, and that's how you make money. So it's not about like trying to prove yourself correct. It's about being on the right side. All right, so we're coming in on the Nasdaq into some horizontal resistance over there. Again, it's kind of clear that we're looking at this consolidation pattern. Markets are consolidating, meaning they're getting ready for a big break. I know when the technical break comes on the upside, also on the downside. However, right now, if I'm playing the range over here and we're rejected here by that resistance, that opens up a short trade. There is no buy side trade here until we break out above the top side. However, if we're rejected here near term in this resistance, come back down and hold either this horizontal support over here at 11,280 and resume off that, that opens up a buy. So things are becoming clearer. So the Russell's down. The Nasdaq's up a gazillion. The Russell's down. Who's got some insight into that? Who knows what's going on there and why? Price action doesn't know what to do. Bitcoin and FANG stocks have been elected the winners. Less tensions with China, right? That's a big deal. They would definitely be. What's the yuan doing? Is anyone watching the yuan? Is now that Biden is the projected winner, is the yuan firming up? If anyone is able to check in on that, let me know. That's all. Yep. Okay. Model 3 life. When Trump took Florida, the markets were flipping positive. I'm weighing everything in. I'm focusing on here in the charts today. Russell hates the weak dollar. Okay. Biden wins. Massive stimulus. Weaker dollar. Russell does not like that. Just putting pieces together today, folks. Putting pieces. Do I think the Nasdaq's in a couple handle? Do I think so? Russell is, look at that volatility. Does anyone want to trade that volatility? Russell, step aside. S&P and Nasdaq look a little clearer to me. Sorry, you guys are going too fast. Do I see cup and handle? No, I don't. That's not a cup and handle in my opinion. This is the cup, and then the handle coming way back down to the bottom of the cup. That's not in my opinion. All right, let's keep going. Oh, by the way, let's take a look at. I'm gonna skip over the Dow. Does anyone want to trade the Dow? I don't want to look at the Dow. S&P and Nasdaq are kind of where it's at. Really interesting. Sam, I have no idea who's gonna win. There, Kips with the Kips wisdom. Forget Kips guitar. It's Kip wisdom. Kips wisdom. Kips nuggets of wisdom. A train is coming. Step aside. Cross when it's safe. Right? Boom. DXY. We're gonna check out right now. Just really interesting. Yeah, we'll talk about Bitcoin also. But first, just really interesting. Y'all notice that the gap over here, right into the trend line, support, held support. Just like, is there any edge for anyone here right now? Not really, but it comes very clearly if we take out that low over here and get back into that gap back below this trend line. Everyone knows that goes to the high of March. That trend line was very important for setting off the bullish move here on the dollar. If we now cross below that, interesting to see the broken resistance held as support. If that breaks and we come back in, that's a clear trade. That will become a very clear trade at that point. At that point, you might want to be looking at euros versus the dollar. We'll look at that in a second as well. Tech stocks have been under pressure from the current administration. This may be review Valley. Victor, I don't have the yuan prices in my head. Is that strengthening over the last 12 hours or weakening? You don't. So generally speaking, just pause one quick second. If you're asking what kind of, it's a common question about what kind of a balance you need to trade. If you're asking that question, the best answer is that you should not be trading in this moment and that you should be watching and learning. Right? So like if you start trading with an account and you don't even know how much money to trade with, that means that you're simply not ready to trade. So don't be trading money. All right. This is Juan responded sharply after Biden showing signs of life. So the markets right now seem to be pricing in a Biden win. Let's stop at Chainlink for a second. We have to get into gold and silver and Bitcoin. Right, Victor, if it's strengthening, that's pricing in a Biden win right now. So by the way, just everyone look at Link real quick. It doesn't matter if you're invested in Chainlink. I'm sorry if you don't like to hear that the markets are currently pricing in Biden. Like we're just talking about we're talking about what is. We're not talking about what we want to happen or any of our biases. We're just talking about what's happening here right now. Like, enough of this nonsense. It's time to get down to business. All right. So look, this is Chainlink. Everyone should look at this only simply because you could see this was that little, first of all, the bearish move. I mean, if you step back, this is extraordinary bullish chart. If you go back a year, right now in the swing traders time frame, this was, this downward sloping channel. When we broke out, we went into this little bit of a upward sloping channel. Look at the breakdown, the retest, resumption down, right? That's easy, textbook. Why it's happening, who knows? That doesn't really matter about why it's happening. You could just see it clear as day as what is happening. And going back, we did say if we broke down outside of that channel over here, that we would probably be targeting in this area of support over here around $9. So, I mean, that's what's going on. And not only that, also did very clearly say until we break above $12.90 up here, that's when it should really get going to the upside. So nothing, just a breakdown of a channel, breakdown, retest, resumption down. That's all. So, I mean, down 5%, all altcoins are getting smacked a little bit today. Don't forget, they're volatile to both the upside and downside. I wouldn't be reading into anything into that right now. Let's check out Bitcoin before we get into gold and silver. Bitcoin again. So you got to love our charts. You got to love that we talked about over here. This line over here, what is it? This is I call it the Heath line, the Heath area, because once we get above it, that's when we're really going to start flying. But we also noted that it wasn't just that resistance right there that we're currently at right now, that we had to clear above our trend line resistance. And we said a break above would probably lead to that resistance, right? You could see it's 1, 2 now. It's holding twice. In my opinion, it's a matter of time before that breaks. But nevertheless, there's not much else to read into it. It's in a consolidation pattern. It's in a holding pattern right now, but it's very healthy. After the last leg up, we came into that resistance, and then the support, that was resistance here, that local support held, and now we're back up testing that resistance, right? So just the only thing I have to add and been adding about Bitcoin is in my opinion, the risk is to the upside. Now that Bitcoin is rising, everyone wants to buy Bitcoin, and they're waiting for lower prices, which is good. You could always just have a buy limit, 30% off the last swing high, and eventually you'll get filled. That's a safe entry, but you have to ask yourself, which is going to be higher when Bitcoin has its first 30% pullback, or right here at 14,000? That I don't know the answer to that. Is a nice entry, maybe a breakout to the upside. Otherwise, you could be waiting down for a pullback. Maybe we'll come back down and test somewhere around the 12,000 area. That's probable that we could test down to there. So, Bitcoin throughout all of it's really interesting to me that with basically what we're looking at is more or less. Is it a contested election? I mean, in my mind, it kind of is. Trump has a big announcement today. Is he saying that it's going to the Supreme Court? What time is that announcement? When that happens, is this a contested election? Why does the markets not really care? I mean, questions I'm asking myself. Would that suggest, it's a good question, with the fact that you're seeing, let me show you, everyone. The fact that we're seeing, look, there's a bit of a widening. I mean, that's debatable. I don't know. That's debatable whether or not that, I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. Good question. Really good question. Is that suggesting that we're ready for a pullback because of the why? I don't know. What I'm seeing over here, and again, there's only 2 times I've pointed this out, and it was recently when we were consolidating over here below resistance, right? And I said that's bullish, right? We put another leg up. We seem to be consolidating again at resistance now. And if we go back, I don't really need to do that. But where was it last? It was below this trend line over here. It must have been in April, right? Right over here when we were consolidating below that resistance. I also said that that's the only other times I said it that was bullish. So I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. So both, let's check out Ethereum, then we'll get into gold and silver. Ethereum looks like that. That is that a bull flag? I don't. I feel like if you see a, I don't know. I don't. It's not really. Um. Yeah. It's how about like it just looks neutral. It like Chainlink obviously looks a lot weaker. Ethereum's holding up better, but that doesn't look too good here. It doesn't look too bullish. Now that could change. A break above 390, that could change really quick, and Ethereum has a chance to improve itself. But right now, there's no edge on Ethereum that I see. There's nothing saying to me that I want to get involved here because it looks like at this point we're ready to make a move here and things are starting to look pretty solid. I don't see that. Yeah, are we seeing more interest in Dan in Bitcoin now? And obviously, as Bitcoin takes out the all-time high, that's when we're going to start seeing interest really peak. I think what's interesting though this time though, as far as Google Trends, and not that is not important because interest is important for adoption, but what's interesting, I think that this cycle over here, this next year, will be known in history as the year that Bitcoin went from being a retail phenomenon to an institutional one, right? Because as you know, our base case is as Bitcoin passes $50,000, and it's a $1 trillion asset, that institutions are going to have to get involved. And I think this is going to be known as the period in time where Bitcoin went from a retail phenomenon into a institutional one. So here's gold. Let's just take a look at gold over here. I know I'm on the 12-hour. So what I'm seeing is a couple of things. Over here, this was a fake out for Jordan. And then we had another fake out for the Bears. Since then, right, we came right into my gold line of 1914 that held as resistance. And then right back into what? The trend line, right? So trading very clear. You could see the rejected by the resistance at 1914, trend line held as support, and now we're back into that. It still remains above 1914 is a clear entry, a better above 1930, right? And you know what? Watch the downside now. That trend line just held. If we break below that trend line down over here, at that point, most likely that does not hold over here, that 1872 support. So gold is kind of getting close to being very much in play. So I definitely want to say, listen, thanks everyone, because in this morning when the world is kind of weird, and it's nice to have this oasis here. Thank you guys for making this such a good environment. What's going on with silver? Let's check out our silver. I'm using the 12-hour because I don't have clarity on who won this election. And I think that throughout the day today, it's possible either we work towards closer to see. Right now, the markets, in my opinion, are pricing in Biden winning. If we get some confirmation of that and then we have some clear trends, then I'm going to start trading. We could also have, just as Michigan flipped this morning or overnight, if we get any type of event like that somewhere else, and then all of a sudden, the market stop pricing in something else, I'm not looking to trade yet. I'm looking to get that clean edge awareness of where I'm looking. Like I'm seeing right now, gold is actually looking clear. Nasdaq and S&P, they look tradable, right? That's progress for me. I'm not in a rush to take trades. I'm in a rush to take good ones, and that requires patience. So silver over here, look, just notes. Talk to yourself. Very much clear that this 2330 is holding, right? Everyone knows that I'm waiting for a break of this trend line over here. at that point to be looking to attack to the upside. By the way, the further we are from 26 on a break of that trend line, the better. Because now we could definitely be looking to take trades not above 26, but outside this trend line, right? So keep watching. Would it make sense if Biden won to see gold and silver go bid? Why, yes, I think that would make a lot of sense. So anyway, what about the downside, right? If we take out this low now, is that going to be like a signal that I don't believe in selling the precious metals personally. But I would gather to say if we lose the support this time after making that higher low, we would be into some trouble and we could see a big sell-off over there. It could be, Jess. I don't know. But the fact that the yuan is strengthening, that does not suggest a Trump win in my mind right now. I don't see any type of we don't have a clear winner, Biden win with red slim, right, JK? I mean, but why are the markets up on that? I don't know. I'm comfortable with not knowing, right? So, and then I also think to myself this morning, I was having my cup of coffee and I'm thinking about this. And then I'm thinking to myself, well, and I don't mean to turn this whole show, after us getting off to a good start today, but I'm thinking, well, does the market like that? Because that's, a red Senate with a Biden presidency. Is that pretty much the status quo for the Davos elite, right? Which it is. Is that why the market's like that? Think about it. So what else? ARK sold some Tesla yesterday and bought PayPal. ARK, man, they do it better than you. It's so complicated to keep up with all of that, not just innovation, but with all these public companies. That remains one of the things that I probably am going to do next year is take a nice long-term asymmetric bet in ARK. All right, so here we go. What else are we looking at? We looked at gold. We looked at silver. The dollar. So, and that's a mixed signal, right? Because the dollar firming up on a Biden win seems weird. I don't know. That's what I know. Interesting, to say the least. What's going on with FX? I want to check in what's going on with the Australian dollar, Japanese yen. I want to take a good look at the euro, US dollar. Seems like Trump win Republican Senate, big tech will continue. Jordan, for this P looked bullish technically, and the Dow looked neutral or bearish. Would this affect you? No. So just good question. On a swing trader's bias, no. Long term, I do subscribe to Dow theory, right? And that's like people are like, why do you even consider the Dow? Because if we have all three indexes, and then some people fight me, there's not three indexes, there's four because the Russell's an index. There's three major indexes, and if all three are confirming each other, that's a sign of technically the markets have a very bullish, I don't want to say breadth, but a very bullish structure to them. Whereas when you had the S&P and the Nasdaq making new all-time highs and the Dow wasn't, that's like a bearish technical signal in the markets. But but as far as on swing trading, I wouldn't let that affect me. Chris, Jordan, you responded to my comments yesterday about the election. Glad we could have a respectful interaction. So could someone fill me in about what happened with Uber? Was there a ballot initiative, like a prop that had to do with Uber? Is that why Uber is reacting? I'm not sure. So Michigan just flipped red. Could someone confirm that? Because then we'll watch how price reacts. So guess what happened? Tech wins in the end. Prop 22. I mean, that's awesome because I tell you what, when I fly into SFO, I like to take an Uber. But anyway, I mean, that speaks for itself, right? So cool. I'm glad to know that. Thank you for sharing that. Um, so someone said, is that Michigan just flipped red? Are they even still counting? What's going on? Um, 18,000 for Biden, right? Biden's still leading. Anyway, I guess we'll find out some clarity later. Michigan's still blue. Thanks, Logan. Let's check out over here what's going on with. By the way, we're interested in just what is here. we're not trying to like lie to ourselves. We just want to know what's going on. How about that? All right, so here we go. Amazing. The anyway, I wish the voting took place on blockchain, that instantly we knew the results and that it was completely transparent. So, what's going on over here with Australian dollar, Japanese yen? Do you see that we're ping ponging a little bit? We're ping ponging between. This is a big trend line over here, and also this one over here. We're ping ponging, so not much going on, right? I said yesterday in the live stream. Looks like we took out the upside though, right? I'm sorry, I got to put back on those. I took off those notes I had on there, but they're important. And my family was fighting me on that this morning. I don't understand. All right, so here we go. So we were looking at this yesterday over here. Follow my mouse. We were looking right over here. Price was right about here yesterday at this time, trading at 74.80, and we were talking about the fact that now that we've come into resistance, now it actually setting up a possible short if we went to risk off. Nothing has happened. We've took out a lot of stops over here, right? And probably there are people that did have stops over there. Took out a lot of stops. We're back in this zone over here. This is interesting because it is possible we go risk off, people. It is possible that this gets messy, that this becomes if right, just like if doesn't Trump have a big announcement today, right? And is if we're talking about taking this to the Supreme Court, we're gonna see. That's interesting, Sam. I saw someone saying, nice comment, Sam. So we got Sam, maybe. I mean, I'm very clear to all of you. I don't know what's going on. I don't see that clarity, right? And I think that the day why a USA is up here today, we could see a lot of whipsaws, right? That much I know. So I see the yuan strengthening. That's a sign that Biden's winning. I see the dollar strengthening. That's probably a sign that Trump is winning, or that could be a sign that the Senate is flipped red. If you're seeing renewables down, is that sell the news or is that Trump winning? I honestly cannot call a winner here. I agree with this comment with all of myself. The markets are no smarter. See, so when everyone's looking at all these like political things, I'm always looking to the markets. I believe the markets are the smartest mechanism for pricing in who's going to win. But the markets right now are not really giving a clear indication. This is what I get a read from the markets. The markets doesn't know who won. The markets are as confused as we are. That's basically what I get from our session together this morning so far. That at this point in time, we don't know who the winner is, and it's still up in the air. Now, everyone can make the case for right now that Trump is winning and that Biden is winning, and that's where we have our own, I believe, bias come in, right? Now, I'm not saying no one's looking at the truth and coming to that decision, but I'm always cautious of my own bias. So I'm trying to remove that. I'm trying to catch up what Reza said. Uh, so there was also something else I saw in there that was pretty good. Oh, Kips. Kips. I thought of you last night. Um, so the pot stocks, see, pot stocks are down. Wasn't pot like approved? Wasn't pot the winner everywhere yesterday? So Kips, but there was an article. I saved it on my phone, so I'll share. Maybe I could share it right now. Um, but it was an article yesterday about NASA looking to work with Elon Musk. There's an asteroid. This is like serious. There's an asteroid in the asteroid belt that is they say it's worth $2 quadrillion. I mean, I don't know how you put a price on it, but it's all nickel and iron, and they wanna work towards mining that. So it was funny, right? What does that do to the price of nickel? Interesting. I'll find that article for you. Luis, we have to continue waiting. Luis, but you don't know how. I want to say smart, but smart's not the appropriate word. You don't know how grounded. You don't know how truthful this statement is here. We look. This is what I see too. I think things are much clearer than they were all week right now, in the fact that like the market is like carving out these patterns that look like tradable right now. Like now I'm seeing something come in, but you're right. It's not the time yet to trade. For me, at least, it's not the time to send it to your garden. So I remember when the Winklevoss brothers were talking to Davey Day Trader, and he's like, "Listen, Bitcoin over gold. They're going to be able to mine gold from outer space," and he thought they were crazy, right? 30 years though is going to come. So boom, the markets are crashing now. No, the markets are not crashing. Yeah, let's take a look at the Euro US dollar. I mean, at the Euro US dollar and also the Euro Australian dollar. Thank you for that. Let's take a look at them both right now. That's what I'm afraid of. The markets don't seem as afraid as me. I'm afraid of a disputed outcome and lawsuits from both sides, right? And also, I have to just add to this comment. The part that I don't like about this is I believe no matter who wins now at this point, the other half of the country, it won't, it's kind of tainted. And if we just used blockchain and it was fair and just and transparent, then I don't think we would have this problem, right? The it shouldn't be decided by lawyers. It should be decided by people. So it's not really fair. Let's look at Euro US dollar, which is not giving us any type of pretty signal whatsoever. And you could see this very clearly, right? That's what we're in right now, right? And we're dead center no man's land. So this does offer lots of opportunity, by the way, if we break down below that blue line over here, if the outcome is to the downside, and we're going to see a strengthening dollar at the same time, right? And we all know we could just use the DXY as that little bit of an indicator. If it falls back into that trend line, into that channel, then at that point, so in my opinion here, if the Euro US dollar breaks down, it becomes an easy trade or a clear signal. On the upside, I would just be waiting a little bit longer for some type of clarity. Um, let's check out the Euro Australian dollar as well. Really, there's no way to make blockchain voting. I mean, I would like to see that video just so I understand both sides of the argument. How about this? I feel in 2020 that there should be a way that our minds should be able to come up with a solution to make the voting process transparent, instant. How about that? Can we all agree on that? Um, Ooh. Mic drop over there. Euro Australian dollar looks a lot like yesterday. We're back into this area. Once we came below this area of support, which is now resistance, flip that up later. At that point, the opportunity for playing that to the long side diminished. Now you are into the mid level over here of the support, but I think that after being in this area for quite a while, when I say this area, I'm talking about over here. I'm talking about from June till today, we've been consolidating. And now that we're back into that area, I think it's back to off limits until we break to the upside or the downside again. Yeah, I mean, precious metals, there's unquestionably, I don't need to go back that far to see it. You know, we're just looking where we are on gold and silver. We're very close to a bullish technical break, but that doesn't mean that we're definitely going to get it. It doesn't mean that we're definitely going to get it. And a lot could happen between now and the catalyst, meaning, well, anyway, I wait for clear indications. Yeah, let's look first at the US dollar, Mexican peso, and then after that, we'll look at the euro, Japanese yen. Which, by the way, I saw a chart on Twitter yesterday. I mean, look at that volatility, by the way. So there's nothing I could say, right? This just means to me that it's not a time to be trading. That's not a time to be trading. Let me look down on the 8-hour though. Look, I mean, there's no way that I would get involved in this one way or the other. And listen, protecting yourself is a good play. So thanks, Tio. Yes. Oh, long-term gold? That's different. You know, if I was looking to make a physical gold purchase today, I would not be considering the price myself. That's Jordan. You know, I would not. So long-term play on same thing on Bitcoin. So everyone sees it differently, but if I was looking to make a Bitcoin purchase today, not a trade, I would be buying Bitcoin and I would not be concerning the price. I want to check out the Euro Japanese yen continuing to be under pressure. And for a long time, early in my career, I thought the opposite. For whatever reason, I thought that traders need volatility to make money. And whoever put this in my head, whoever planted this seed in my head, it was really detrimental. It took me a long time to figure out that I'm not looking for volatility, that I'm looking for clarity, that I'm not looking just to take risks, that I'm actually looking to manage my risk. It took a long time for me to figure that out on my own, and it's probably because of I had this misnomer in my head that I needed volatility. So this looks pretty good over here. I like that sloping rising trend line over there because that looks to me, I mean, I look at it like this, and that's a bear flag. You could also look at it like this. Those 2 points, but that's a bear flag and a breakdown over there. That could be interesting to see. By the way, the markets are so mixed. The Japanese yen is not trading strong today. We're not seeing that risk off at the moment. The equity markets are trading up. I see a lot of things setting up. They could go in either direction. That leaves me completely nowhere. Yeah, Kips gets mad when I look at silver. Not when I look at it, when I trade it. It should be possible to make it safe and transparent. Where we at, folks? Where we at? I don't see the market crashing anywhere. Is gold making a bear flag? Or now we're seeing precious metals come off. Nasdaq down a little bit. Bitcoin hasn't moved. Is this a bear flag also on? So okay, I see what you're looking at now. Now, I get, I don't want to say I don't want to say no. That's for sure. I don't want to say yes. This is what you're looking at. Is that a bear flag, right? And it very well could be. Nevertheless, I think focusing on that trend line right there, and that trend line, just so you have a little bit of awareness of where it's coming from, look at where it's connecting. I think that's all you need to do, regardless if that's a bear flag or not. Focusing on that trend line at this point, which the market is paying very much attention to, that I think is going to give you a clear signal. If we break that to the downside, that is a bearish event for Bitcoin. I mean, for gold, excuse me. And it remains the same. We need to clear above 1914 to get bullish on Bitcoin. I can't figure out why this machine is slow over here, and it's got like it's got more than half the hard drive space available. The internet connection is well above 100 MBS right now. So I don't know. I guess I need to spend some more time troubleshooting that. So tech way high, VIX way down. Oh, I like this. Just observing right now is the way to go. VIX way down, renewable energy and weed stocks down. Does Google give us any indication? I mean, regardless of who wins the presidency, are they still bringing the monopoly case versus Google? I'm not using even a Mac Mini. This is worse. This is worse. This is a MacBook Air. I'm gonna actually get a MacBook Pro. Thank you for that reminder. Yeah, Google looks pretty good over here, right? It's not plugged in because it's so. Thanks for that question. It's not plugged in only because you know what? I only have like one port here, and the mic is plugged into it. Can't you afford the top of the line Mac products? So this is a great question. Let's talk about this. This is a really great question. All right. So myself, right, as someone who has worth. I'm not going to disregard this, but let me tell you something. I mean, I recently got a new iPhone, and the one I had before that, I think it was like 4 years old, and I had a cracked screen. And then I look at like my like other people, close friends and family who have brand new iPhones and cracked, and yet my net worth dwarfs them, right? So because you have a lot of money doesn't mean that you're not frugal with your money. It's actually the opposite, right? So just pay attention and make note. Do I have enough money to buy top of the line Mac products? I own top of the line Mac products, right? But it doesn't mean that I throw money away on anything at any time. So anyway, what to make of it all? And even though Apple products are way expensive, I still like them and use them. I still like and use them. Yeah. What is stuff anyway? So what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I don't. Why is Google bid number one? Uber makes a lot of sense, right? Why is Google bid here? Why is Texo bid? Obviously, that's why Google's rising over here. Oh no, definitely do not. There is so much money in Mexico, it's ridiculous. Look, I don't know where to take this, y'all. I feel like I'm in a holding pattern right now. I don't know what's going on. I have to say, walking into this room this morning, I didn't know what it was going to be like. I know that tensions might be high, but like I felt as soon as I walked in, like, man, thank God I'm here. Thanks for stepping into this environment. And can you imagine how much that speaks for the fact that under these circumstances, all of us are able to get together, and it's a place of like that you want to be in, right? Really, really cool. Euro, British pound. Let's check out what's going on. I mean, really quick off the top of my head, the clock is starting to tick now. We're getting close to some type of resolution. Can you imagine there wasn't on the brick exit situation over here? So look at this. This is kind of interesting over here. Follow this line right over here. This trend line right there. We're now coming back down. Let me extend that like that. We're coming back towards that resistance right there. That is a big channel over here, right? I could tighten up this bottom one at this point because I see that like the markets, but I don't need to, right? I think you have the outer one here for confirmation. At this point, I'd be waiting for a break of the outer one, right? Just for that confirmation before looking to go long. If we break out of this, though, to the upside, I would be getting long here, the euro, British pound, no question about it. This is a great question. So the question is, should someone following the course still take 3 trades a week? In last week's live session, I spoke about this, and I'm going to do it again right now since you missed it. But at the same time, go to the Conquering the Markets recommended playlist and watch that training session. It was fantastic. I spoke about the fact of why that trade rule is put into place, right? And then and generally speaking, people tend to overtrade. People tend to way overtrade. I myself, I used to average somewhere between 3 and I would say 5, but maybe 7 trades a day for a long time, right? And look, stepping into the course, following the strategy taught in the course, you should be able to go to break even or better within 3 to 5 weeks. That is taking the 3 trades a week, exactly as outlined in the strategy, with the risk management that we use, with the trade management. However, that 3 trade rule was really put in place to prevent people from over trading. You do have a subset of people who freeze and don't trade enough, and then that 3 trade rule also helps them. But right now, look, no one should take any trades this week. We're into today's Wednesday, and that could change. But it was the traders who were hitting 2 and 3 months, on the of profitability, that they knew how many trades to take, and they had the green light if they felt like they should only take 2 or 1, or in this case, no trades a week. For sure, that's what you should be doing. I still feel like someone starting from scratch should follow the 3 trade rule until they're getting to the 2nd or 3rd month of profitability. And then at that point, they know enough about themselves and what needs to be done following this strategy on whether or not they should trade more or less. Watch that video. Watch the last training session video. Do I trade on a MacBook Air? Look, I'm not at home right now. I normally have I have like a 27-inch Mac, desktop that I use. Do I also trade on a MacBook Air? I mean, I could trade off my iPhone. Ooh. Oh, this is great. Great insight over here, D7. So a Republicans holding on to the Senate is positive for tech, since this is by the way, this comment is so important, just to like refresh in all our minds. This is it right here. A Republican Senate will mean that even if Biden wins, that these tax increases can't go through. So that's more for the people than even for tech, though, no? Because either one way, the corporations aren't paying taxes anyway, right? my my take on oil, which has been, by the way, 2020, what a fantastic year. I like without a question, and all the videos are upline. One of our best trades all year has been on oil, right? Look at over all the way up here. This was the day that Iran attacked Iraq. Not that I. What happened over here? Was it was it Iran was attacked? I don't know. Either this was Iran attacked Iraq, or this was when the oil fields in Iran were attacked. And then right over the shortly thereafter, DJ went actually short at the top over here. Over here, starting around in the mid 50s, we started going short, targeting by the end of the year in the 30s. And then that quickly changed. And then, this was one of the best trades all year. And this year is full of amazing trades. But over here, I went neutral on oil. Ever when oil went to zero, after oil broke 1450, I was like, okay, we're out of oil. I don't understand it anymore, right? And then over here, it wound up going to zero. I never expected that. And then over here, from this area to here, I've been like, stay on the sidelines on oil. And it's gone nowhere. And it still remains stay away from oil. Now you could see this developing over here, this channel that's developing, right? A breakout to the upside. Do I think that if you're playing like a reflation trade that oil is the best investment? I do not even close. Like if you're buying oil right now instead of Bitcoin, you're just way off by so far. It's ridiculous, right? So I think if oil had any type of near-term events that saw a big price decrease towards 31 or 28, that might be a place to lean in to buy oil. Outside of from that, I don't think it's attractive whatsoever. Oh, I don't throw away my old phone. My old phone is the screen's all messed up and doesn't used. But I'm not going to get into my OPSEC security and how I do it and what I do it, because at that point I'd be giving away security. But you know, let's just say I go to great lengths. Yes, why I agree with that. We're not. I mean, I agree with that, Benjamin. Look, I'm just the drone attack in Saudi. I'm just looking at right now what's in front of us, right? I'm not I look, Bitcoin aside, precious metals aside, right? Precious metals, I could be like, okay, right now we're in a bull market here, and why I can't say when that bull market's going to end, right? I'm still looking for the end of that bull market. I don't know if it's 2 or 3 years away. I have no idea. Bitcoin is different because of the way that it's programmed and its bull and bear market cycles within the 4 year cycle. But I, I can't make like long-term predictions. I'm not an oracle and I can't see the future. This is why I'm out here on the 8 hour. I'm not on the 8 hour today because I'm not looking for a trade today. I'm not looking for a trade. Now, I do believe that I have much more clarity today than I did yesterday. And at the same time, I have this could get volatile. I have no idea. I just see nice patterns forming. Whether gold looks clear, silver looks clear. The Nasdaq and the S&P, they got clarity into them. Like things are clear right now. So, what was the question over here? I mean, that's why I feel really good being neutral. Could you imagine right now someone has a position and they're just like hoping that like if this happens, things are gonna go my way? That's not how you trade, right? That's how you gamble. If you want, like, go bet on a sports book or something. Hi, Jordan. Just a general feeling. Are you risk on or am I risk off? Well, let me tell you how I answer that question right now. I see the Japanese yen is not really bid, right? I see the dollar is slightly bid over here. Um, Bitcoin, it continues to be Bitcoin doing its own thing, by the way. Weird. I don't know. I'm not risk on or risk off right now. That's the truth. I don't see the markets risk on or risk off right now. All I see is equities are flying, right? Which makes, I don't know. I'm not risk off. I'll tell you that much. But I believe risk off could come into the markets if, like, for example, if Trump says that this is going to be contested in the Supreme Court, I could see the markets going risk off. I'm worried about that. I don't know. The Nifty 50. Benjamin, thanks, man. A lot of people say that. A lot of people watch the afternoon updates who trade individual stocks, and our look at the indexes give them that, that clarity they need to know when they should be taking positions and in which direction and where. That's right, Alan. Okay. So anyway, I like it. You all right? Yashin is saying if by the weekend there are no winners, that we could see a massive risk off move. That makes a lot of sense to me. But now, will the market be preemptive of that, right? Trump declared victory. You can watch the video to meet Kevin. Is Trump tweeting this morning, by the way? No, no, so not Trump tweet for 9 hours. I mean, so look, this is Jordan's insight into that, by the way. I do think that look, I don't know if you call him the Don or President Trump, right? He's very, very smart in a lot of ways. For example, when they started having these riots across the cities, they were trying to get him to send troops into there and trying to see, look, he's a dictator, and he didn't do that. If Trump is not tweeting right now for 9 hours, I think that's smart, because if Trump was out there on Twitter right now trying to declare victory, that would be used against him. You all have some really interesting thoughts. If the markets are responding this way to a Biden win, doesn't it make sense? Isn't it more likely it's responding to a perceived Trump win, rather even a red Senate? The red Senate, I get, right? Who just talked about the red Senate equated to we're not going to see some large tax cuts. I'm sorry, not tax cuts, tax increases. So that part I get a lot. Yeah, beautiful, brother, beautiful. Oh, Trump tweeted and Twitter deleted it. That's wow. He tweeted, but it was blocked. That's great. Could we look at lumber futures? What's the ticker, Dan, for the lumber contracts? Okay. So by the way, lumber, right? I mean, the first thing that I have to say to you is, I mean, would you trade that? I do believe personally that we're going to see definitely a rise in commodity prices. I still look. This is just my own opinion. I think it could be probably 2 or 3 years before we make this move from deflation towards inflation. That's a long time. Um, I don't have the charts right now. Do not give me any edge here. I don't. This is way too volatile right now to step in front of in one direction or the other. And again, as Kips was saying, volatility is poison. Run away from volatility. Now, I say that with a grain of salt, obviously, because obviously Bitcoin is about to become massively volatile to the upside, as it has even since September. It's up 40% since September, right? I say that, but right here, personally, I I don't have an edge. And also, right, you could try to be early. There are investors who, they're okay and comfortable with being wrong for a long time in order that they're early and they could see the turn coming, and that's good, right? But I don't like to get my money caught up for extended period of times. I'd rather just be in that sweet spot area, right? So, when it's clear that commodities are actually humming, well, then it's a really good place to be in. I made a mistake, a long time ago with precious metals and just holding them for too long. So I don't tend to make those mistakes anymore. Well, we don't have any matches back home. I don't have any matcha whatsoever. Absolutely, I really enjoyed that tweet, and you gotta be really careful. I don't, you don't. I'm not trying to upset anyone, so this is also, I mean, I agree. Like, come on, every election since the dawn of the republic has probably been, fraudulent to one degree or another, right? I mean, if you don't see that, then I don't think you understand what's going on. But it's not. That's why I just want something fair and just. I'm not saying it favors one person or the other. I just want a system that's fair and just. And that's, I mean, I think Brian, what you're saying too is you just want something that's fair and just as well. So where we are today is not much different than where we started this morning. The Nasdaq did sell off a little bit this morning and is now coming back. I'm not sure what to read into that. I do like when the insight was shared that that has to do a lot to do with the Republican Senate. It also could have a little to do with the California what was it, Prop 22. I'm not sure about that, but for the gig worker economy and Uber getting that boost today. It looks like tech won today. You back in the States? I am, Chris. I'm in the States right now. I'm missing my matcha. So that's a good question. What do I think about the VIX dropping 20% today? I mean, do we have I'm unaware. Do we have people rioting in the streets anywhere, or are they waiting a little bit, right? And from what I understand, no matter who wins, there could be rioting. And like, for example, let's say Biden wins, you could have some of these extreme leftist groups rioting so that he does what they want. Or if Trump wins, you could have also these groups rioting. I don't know. They're not morning people. Maybe the VIX goes back up after the election is contested and after the riots start. I don't look into that too much right now. What I think right now, I think we're in the eye of the storm. I think right now that we had like the winds picking up, and then we passed into the eye right now, and I don't think that we get this lucky. I talked about the biggest risk in the markets was that on election night we had a decisive winner. We don't have a decisive winner, and I think that things are going to pick up here, which is why I'm not like, oh, let's jump in the equity markets here. Well, we're coming into some resistance actually. Right? I'm not gonna buy into the resistance. I said over here I would not sell. Right? Remember I said I would not sell, but at the same time I would not buy. Now I'm like, all right, now we have some clarity over here. It's not time, but now I'm getting ready. If we break out above here, this becomes very clear, right? Right now though, we'll see what happens, man. I don't think Trump has the Supreme Court. If you remember what happened within the last, let's call it week, there were, I think, 3 different cases that the Trump campaign was trying to get, like, for example, the drive-through ballots, they wanted them all thrown out, and the Supreme Court ruled against the Trump campaign in 3 different cases. So I think the Supreme Court is on the side of law and what is fair and just. And I don't necessarily think that the Supreme Court leans towards Trump. I don't know who Nate Maxwell is or about what he thinks is going on, or why he thinks that. But I do know with certainty that I have not seen anyone else's analysis. It's a year now we've been line streaming that comes even remotely close to being as accurate as we are. I've not seen anyone come remotely close, and that's just the truth. Right? And that's why I have no problem waiting, because most of the time we have a lot of clarity what's going on, and we follow so many different markets that there's always opportunity. Right now, and by the way, it's not the only trade, right? But the only, I mean, most people here are holding some pretty hardcore Bitcoin positions, and that's been serving us well. That's what I believe. So I thought alt season would begin right now. I thought alt season begins 6 months after the halving. So you have all of May, right? Because May 10th, May 11th, May, June, July, August, September, October. Alt season should, in my opinion, be beginning. It's not yet. It's not yet. So, do I believe it gets started very soon? Why, yes, I do. I'm still under the impression why I am 99% Bitcoin, 1% alts, that there will be an alt season and alts will outperform. Speculation will come as Bitcoin goes on to make new all-time highs. So, by the way, just no matcha. I mean, I'm a coffee lover as well. And I'm just drinking coffee right now. But back home, I have my matcha. Do you think of using the put call ratio on top of price action? Not myself, Alan. So one of my greatest edges is really, look, it's very simple. It's price alone around the market structure of support and resistance with the help of trend lines and chart patterns. There are countless different other factors you could bring into the equation, including volume alone. But for me, they don't offer an edge, right? Look, if I'm leaning on the put call volume, I'm leaning on other traders, right? More or less, I'm leaning on I have a much better time, I have much more success actually forgetting what other traders are doing and just focusing over here on price. Jose, there are so many places to buy Bitcoin. Um, so by the way, I mean, I think Link is going to take out its all time high. You know, sometime in the next 6 months, I think Link is going to take out its all time high and will surpass it. Now that's not necessarily what I'm aiming for, but I've said around when Bitcoin's trading around $16,000, and that price might be moving up now, maybe towards 17, 18,000. I will just just dump my Ethereum and Chainlink. I agree. This is a fantastic comment. I really agree with it. You know, it's interesting how many Americans seem to accept a great amount of corruption in the system. It's true, right? Right? Like, I don't care what side you're on. You should want a fair and just system. Can we get one more like really quick? Just one more like, anyone. I don't care who it is. Just hit a like really quick. Appreciate that. Thank you. So yeah, I agree. I think it's very important for society to have really trust and faith in their system. You know, I agree with that. Do I have a very heavy Bitcoin position? I have a very over 50% of my net worth. Could I afford to buy a top of the line Mac product? Over 50% of my net worth, that's including all of my owned real estate, is in Bitcoin. By the way, it's much higher than 50% now. It was, you know, go back just a couple of months and it was just over 50%. So what is it now? Is it, you know, it's going to keep rising. But yeah, I have a very heavy Bitcoin position. Do you know of any long blockchain stock bets? So the only for public markets, the best ones is right GBTC, QBTC, and also MicroStrategy, I think, and Galaxy. Those are the four Bitcoin plays. And Galaxy, coffee lovers, and Galaxy would be more of blockchain. More, it has a lot of other, not just Bitcoin. I don't know how heavily weighted towards Bitcoin it is. So this is not the same as mine, much different, but similar. Thanks, Gemma. Thank you very much. So red Senate doesn't get a Democratic stimulus levels. Yeah, I mean, who knows what's going on over there? I don't. I think if we have a red Senate and a Trump victory, that he would have the sway to get more stimulus out of them. I think if Biden is the winner and the Republican Senate, that the Republicans are going to be playing more politics, but they're looking for targeted stimulus rather than giving a bunch of money to failed urban areas. And I'm on board with that. I'm not a fan of just like spending my kids' money at all. I think it's completely wrong. But what's Neo? I know what Neo is. What's Nio? A lot of people use Cash App. I use BlockFi. I love BlockFi. Binance is difficult to buy Bitcoin, right? Or at least for Americans, it is, I think. Coinbase you could use, but I don't think it's the best. We'll check that out in 1 second. What is going on here? This thing is, what is this? This is a rocket. Oh my goodness. Why didn't you tell me about this when it was trading at $4 and just tell me that it was going to 10x in the, you know? I have no idea what's going on over here. That's the thing. Like, you could trade currencies and not necessarily need to know what's going on as much as you need to know what's going on. You need to know what the company's business model is, what their books look like, I have no idea. All I could say is that is one sexy chart. That thing is rocketing into outer space. And wow. Jordan, on the Bitcoin chart, I see an ascending triangle, fulfilled a resumption, and now we'll see it negated or confirmed. I'm going to look at it. If you're asking what wallet to use for Bitcoin, look, you have different options. Whether you're using to hold a little bit of funds on exchanges or you're using a hardware wallet. There are many good hardware wallets: Cold Card, Trezor, Ledger. You have many options. But if you're looking to really, this is something that you should research. You just have three hardware wallets: Cold Card, Trezor, Ledger. Go research each one of them and figure out which one you want to use. But so, by the way, what do I think about GBTC? I think that I own some simply because I have no choice. But I prefer Bitcoin. So anyway, look, I know that you were seeing an ascending triangle. This is exactly what I see. I mean, my Bitcoin analysis has been so tight. I'm gonna stick with it. And we have this trend line, right? That trend line, that yellow trend line right over here. That trend line right over here is what is providing the resistance, and it's a break above that will send the next leg up on over here. There's nothing else to add on that. On the downside over here, right? A break below this area over here. By the way, watch my parabolic trend line right now, right? A break below that area right over here. At that point, that could take us back down towards 12,000. There's decent support over there. There's decent amount of orders over there. There's a good chance we would hold that. And if we didn't, then I don't think this is the base case anymore by a long shot. But then we would be looking down towards 11,000. Anyway, I think right now just focus on what's in front of us, and it's simple. It's as simple as this. Right over here, this parabolic trend line, this area of support right over there. A break below that, let's call it right now. Let's call it 12,800. A break below that would be negative for Bitcoin, and we would be targeting somewhere around 12,000, 12,100 in that area. Okay, a break above this resistance here, that's going to send off the next leg to the upside on Bitcoin. And this above here, as we've been saying now for a couple of weeks, above there, we could start seeing pretty fast price movement. There's not much in the way between that area and the new all-time high. So, I mean, this is a really good and fair question. It's a really good question, right? Why would I dump my Ethereum as Bitcoin approaches 16? Again, I'm moving that up now, probably towards 17, 18. If I thought alt season is coming, right? I did one video in the Bitcoin playlist on a cryptocurrency portfolio. I'm very clear that I do believe that alts will outperform as a basket Bitcoin during this bull market, probably close by a factor of 4. I believe that Bitcoin is a safer trade. Bitcoin is proven technology. Altcoins are all speculative technology, which is why that speculation in a bullish environment should outperform. However, I believe a slightly leveraged Bitcoin position is a way safer and smarter investment. If things go wrong, I'm comfortable holding Bitcoin, and I'm not comfortable holding, altcoins that are speculative. Right? And Ethereum, why I am rooting for the success of Ethereum, it is highly speculative. Whether or not Ethereum 2.0 is able to have a successful rollout or not remains to be seen. If you're taking a position now and you're making a big bet, that bet has the potential to pay off, but it's not probable that it will. they're having a hard, the timeline for Ethereum 2.0 gets pushed back all the time. There's a reason for that. It's not so easy. They're having trouble. Could it work out? Yeah, it could work out. And anyone that's bullish on Ethereum, I support that. It's not like you're holding XRP and I'm like, what are you doing? You're not at all. I get why people are bullish. And by the way, Bitcoin is decentralized finance, but the whole DeFi thing takes place on Ethereum, right? There's a big future in there. I rather go with the quote unquote, because nothing is certain, with the sure shot, right? I don't know. Let's see when it comes out. What happens, and when it comes out. I have no idea when it's going to come out. G Money, my take on XRP. I've been very vocal about this for a very long time. Is that, listen, if you bought XRP because you believe the use case is cross-border settlements, the central banks are now doing that themselves. Digital currencies, including the CBDC from the IMF, are now being released for cross-border settlements. They're not going to use XRP. Now, if you do own XRP, be very clearly aware that it's the company Ripple that owns billions of these tokens, and that the way they fund their business, Ripple, is by selling XRP to retail. So the reason why you see it rip, XRP, Ripple rips, because they control the float. It's why, if you look at a long-term chart of it, you see all these rips occur all the time. And each time that it rips and then the retail gets stuck into it, that's not normal price action behavior. These rips are not normal price action behavior. It's because Ripple controls the float over there. And then as it rips up and retail gets sucked in, because what does retail do? They chase momentum. They dump their XRPs onto the retail in order to fund their business, Ripple. It makes no sense. Do not do it. Right? It's the opposite of Bitcoin. Instead of being decentralized, it's centralized. Instead of having a max cap, it has an unlimited cap that the company owns. Chris, I know you're not talking to me, because I know that you're not talking to me. Square, we were going back again on this channel, the video early in 2020, we were huge proponents of Square. Right now, what is the PE on Square? I don't know, 250. PayPal has entered the fray over here. At this point in time, I would continue to be more bullish on PayPal than Square, although I like Square as a company and as a business. I am confused why they do not have more than $50 million in Bitcoin reserves. I'd be a lot more bullish of them if they had more reserves in Bitcoin. But, Square's good. Rob, fighting words, why the negativity? Well, first of all, I'm a New Yorker. I'm not ever. I got plenty of fight in me. I'm not worried about that. But when someone's telling me that I do not understand the technical limitations on each coin, that's them fighting words. Those are fighting words. I'm not going to back down. Of course, PayPal offering up the ability of 50 or 280 million users to all of a sudden have access to buy Bitcoin with a company they trust. Is that bullish for Bitcoin? Unquestionably. Chris, I cannot start up an XRP node myself right now without permission from Ripple. That is the definition of centralized. This is such a silly conversation. It's not even, it's ridiculous. I cannot run a node without the permission from Ripple. You don't think that's centralized? That's a definition of centralized. To even have that conversation is just, it's not even elementary. It's kindergarten stuff. Yeah, I think that's not only do they have over 400, no, now they have over 550 million in Bitcoin. They're up over $100 million. Look, they plan on holding that forever. They're not looking to sell it. The hands of Michael are absolutely rock solid. I think it's a great investment. Look, there's a video that was released on Saturday. It's on the Bitcoin playlist on the channel. It was the most recent uploaded video on Bitcoin. It's a must watch. You have to watch it if you haven't. Most people have watched it more than a couple of times. It is absolute gold. Go to the Bitcoin playlist, watch that, and then you can get a good look at that. So Shane, by the way, if you send a wire for dollars, it's converted to the Gemini US dollar stablecoin. Is Bitcoin slightly bearish? No, I mean we looked at Bitcoin clearly, right? No question. If we lose over here, if we lose 12,800, even a little higher, maybe 12,900. If we cross this trend line over here, this parabolic trend line, breaking the lows of this last area, this was the test into the resistance. This is where, like that area over here, it's like a slightly rising trend line over there. As long as that holds, this bullish structure is very much in place. If that fails, that no question about it, we're coming towards 12,000. But right now, this is nothing but bullish. I don't see any bearish signs in there. And I didn't over here because over here we're having conversations about people looking for lower prices on Bitcoin, personal conversations. And I was like, look, I think the risk is to the upside. And it remains that way. Brandon, by the way, Brandon is very active, right? In the Conquering the Markets Telegram chat. Brandon knows a lot more about Cardano than myself. Brandon has also, and he's a huge proponent of it. He also released some videos of people he thought were explaining it well. Do I think that the price could still pump? I think that including the price of XRP is going to pump in alt season. I think the price of most alts will be trading higher going forward. No, Armit, get up. In the link below is a description to my trading course. Go ahead and take the course. Yeah, Tesla's a great asymmetric bet. You know, either it's going to zero or 20 years from now, it's going to be a huge thing. Rob, it's not about. I started off the Bitcoin video also on looking at whether we almost made 1,000 likes. I don't know if it was a good session or a bad one. It started off great. Nasdaq is still up over here. We got a little bit of sidetracked. No, G Money. I didn't mean to give any type of unclarity on that. I think alt season, the end of alt season, by the way, should be directly after the end of the bull market on Bitcoin. Alt season hasn't even got started yet. alt season hasn't even begun yet. As it begins here, it's going to be face melting, rip raw to the upside, in my opinion. And I think that it won't end. It'll end just after the Bitcoin bull market ends. So if you want to know when it's time to exit your altcoins, watch as I'm exiting Bitcoin, and that will be the time to exit altcoins. Now, is there a possibility we don't have alt season this time and it's all about Bitcoin? It's a possibility. I don't think that's what's going to happen. My opinion is alts will roar, but I'm not. I'm invested into Bitcoin because I'm looking for strong money. Appreciate that. Thank you for letting me know. Felt like we got a little veered off course over here. So I think we're gonna call it a session. I am going to be looking for sure this afternoon to be doing a video update, only because a lot's gonna happen between now and the close here today, and I just want to make sure that we all have that little bit of a check-in. It will be maybe another short 5-minute check-in if we're not looking for entries, but nevertheless, I'm gonna be checking in. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate that, my brother, very much, very much. Lots of love everywhere. Thank you, everybody.